It is late at night. I haven't removed my makeup yet, as you can all see. You know how there are some changes that just happens in your life and you don't even know that it happened? Like you always wanted to do it, you always wanted that change to happen, but it just did not happen when you wanted it to happen. That change came seamlessly out of nowhere, and you didn't even realize that particular change just happened, and now you're just living with that change. For me, reading was that change that just happened out of nowhere. And I am someone who hates reading, or I should say hated reading, since I was a child until last year. Not even last year, I don't know, maybe until April, May this year. I never, ever, ever, ever in my life like picked up a book. Ever in my life. Like I dreaded reading. I hated reading. Hated. I always thought that I was one of those who enjoyed interactive things. Like watching a movie or a TV or maybe an audiobook. I don't know. I don't think I can do audiobooks as well. I don't know. Anything related to, reading a book. Watching an adaptation of a book is a different thing. That's a movie, that's a series, whatever. But actually like sitting at one place holding a book and reading it, never. It was never on the cards for me. Never, ever, ever. I hated it. Like even in school, in the library, I don't think I ever picked up a book to read it. I would pretend to read a book sometimes because, I wanted to look like a nerd. I wanted to look like I have, knowledge, play pretend knowledge. I wanted to seem like an intelligent person. So I thought, wearing glasses or reading a book or holding a book would, give that vibe. So I often try to only kind of like show off by holding a book. But I know deep down in my heart, I didn't even read one word of whatever book that I was pretending with. I still remember that by the end of the year in school, my library card was empty. Every time you go to a library and if you issue a book, you get a stamp on your card, like you have to return it. And if you don't return it, they tally the stamps and everything. I still remember that my library card was empty. It was entirely empty, not a single stamp on it, not a single stamp on it. That is how much I hated reading. Even till last year, whenever I traveled, and I would often see people in planes, sitting with the book, like reading a book was a great thing to, pass their time. And I would often talk to Rahul about it. Like, how do you actually sit and read a book and enjoy it? It was just something that I never thought I would do in my life. Like, trust me, if there is something in your life that you hate the most and you think that you can never do it, for me, it was reading a book. That's why I was not really a very like bookish or a person who was good in studies in school. Like I did average in school. It was just one of those days in the month of April that I was just sitting and watching a video, and someone was talking about how they just read Palace of Illusion. And I am a lover of history. Some people call it mythology, some people call it history. I mean, mythology is myth, right? And this is not mythology. I mean, it's history. So whatever, mythological history, you understand what I'm saying. So I love mythology. Love it. If there is one thing that I can spend my life researching on, it's mythology. I love it so much. So I thought, you know what? I might as well just try to read a book. Let's see if I can actually read. Because I've never even tried. Read in the sense, read a book. Because I never even tried. So I took a Palace of Illusion in April this year. And I was hooked. If someone like me can read a book, and if you are someone who thinks that you cannot read a book, or reading a book is not your thing and it's boring, take it from me. Just take it from me. Try to read a book. Try it. If especially try to read a book about something that you really enjoy in real life, something that you're really interested in real life, because that is going to help you get into reading books. I love horror movies, right? I love horror. It's my number one genre in movies. I don't watch anything but horror in my life, but I cannot read horror books. It's just simply not possible. I cannot do it. I tried after I read Palace of Illusions. I'll give something else a little bit of try, but horror was just not my thing. And I realized that if I ever read a book, it will be mythology. I cannot read anything else. It just doesn't interest me. It doesn't pique my interest. I don't know. It's boring. So if you are someone who's struggling with reading books and you want to get into it, find something that you are really, really interested in. So after Palace of Illusions, I took up the Book of Ram. Again, one of the most amazing books I've ever read. I smell lavender when I talk about that book. Literally, honestly, right now smelling fucking lavenders every time because that book was amazing. Chef's kiss. So after reading that book, took up a few different other books, like small books, not very huge ones, like The Pregnant King, and then some other books. And now I have come to this one. This is also from Devdutt Patnaik, I guess. Yes, this one. And I'm reading. I haven't even gone through half of it. I just started reading this. So I'll let you know once I finish this book. So like I said, if you're like desperately, desperately looking for a change in your life, but that change is just not happening, you let it go. Just let it go. Honestly, just let it go. That change will automatically happen. Last entire year, I suffered so much mentally that running after changes, running after some really nice permanent changes that I needed in my life, I just kept running after them, and it just completely fucked with my mind. And this year, after I took up reading book, I kind of like let it go. Like I stopped running behind the change that I am craving so much, that I used to crave so much. And life just have become extremely simple. Like I have calmed down a lot. And I think reading has also contributed to that calmness or that change in perspective that I desperately, desperately needed in my life. That's pretty much it. I'm going to take my makeup off and then I will go to sleep. And I will read a little bit of this. Little bit. Bye. I'll see you later.
Non più tra i farfalloni amoroso, notte e giorno di torno girano.